Moving on to Daniel Bryan. He pressed Triple H to accept his challenge to a match at WrestleMania, but was denied once again. Triple H and Stephanie said that he should ignore the crowd and their yes movement because everything that he's ever been afforded is because of them. Going as far as to say they made him, therefore they own him. This was definitely a heated segment, but was it enough to capture that big event feel that we're looking for as we look ahead to WrestleMania?
It's interesting to see the dynamic between the crowd and the possibility of this match, because it seems as though every time this match is mentioned, every time Bryan challenges Triple H, we get this giant no chant, no, we want you as champion, fuck that dude. We're not trying to see Batista and Randy Orton. We're not trying to go another month with one of those guys as champion. We're not dealing with it. We're going for you. So it's interesting to see that dynamic. I would hope that they would put the stipulation of he would get to the title match should he beat Triple H. But I think I am more excited based off this promo. But at the same time, they got to sell the crowd on it.
Bear with me for a minute. Let's think back to what Austin and McMahon was like, and I get the feeling that they're trying to play off of that. But what made that feud so great was the back and forth nature of it. So McMahon would screw Austin out of the title. Austin would come back and pour cement on it in his Corvette. And then McMahon would get somebody to beat Austin down. Austin comes back in with a beer truck or something. And there was a lot of back and forth with that. With Daniel Bryan, not comparing him to Austin and not comparing the feuds in general, but just concepts. Daniel Bryan is a rising face of the company type figure right now. He's the most popular superstar that they have right now. And consistently, and I think this is what frustrates fans the most, consistently for the past 6 months since SummerSlam, we've had half of the Raw episodes in with Daniel Bryan on his back and with
only
the authority
half
standing over him. At least
unless you
half.
mean the other 50% is on his stomach.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I don't get the back and forth feel that made the Austin and McMahon feud so great. Now, once again, it's not the Austin and McMahon feud, but the concept. Daniel Bryan needs to win at some point. He needs to do something to get over on the authority. So, in this past episode, you had Daniel Bryan in the ring saying that he was going to hijack the crowd or hijack Raw with the crowd. And Triple H and Stephanie come out and they get the better of him yet again. They have security come down and force him out of the ring and whatnot. And then at the end of the show, you have Triple H pedigreeing them. It's the same old thing. And I think that's what's the disconnect with the crowd. It's the same exact thing, and it's one person dominating the other.
I disagree, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes,
This was a very heated promo, man. A lot of tension. One thing I would like to see Daniel Bryan do is get a bit rougher. I want to see this guy get more aggressive on the mic. I'm pretty sure he's capable of doing it. He has shown some moments of brilliance on the mic, but I still get the feeling he's just a little bit too nice. This is a very intense situation, and it doesn't help when he goes John Cena mode in these type of matches. Triple H, he was fantastic. Stephanie didn't say much, but she filled her role correctly. Fantastic job by Triple H. I wish that Daniel Bryan would need the guy's skull in. Absolutely great work. And I like the part where the crowd was chanting, and Triple H is like, I think they're talking about you. Great stuff, man. I have to agree a bit with Charlie, and a little bit with EMAC too. But regarding what Charlie said, I'm starting to notice that the crowd isn't really 100% sold on this match. You can really tell. I even heard a couple of no chants, and Daniel Bryan's like, "This is the match that we want. This is what they want to see." And people are like, "What? No, we don't want to see this." So they're gonna have to put some kind of stipulation on this thing. Punk really left a lot of unfinished business here. It's really weird what they're gonna have to do. I don't think people are going to care. It does seem a little bit weird. It seems like something they would do at WrestleMania 9. I think that's where it happened, where you have some guy have a fight and then he goes into the title match. But you can always pull a WrestleMania 10.
Well, wait a minute, though. There's a difference between putting that as a preset stipulation and just deciding that Hulk Hogan is going to come out and do a run in and just have a title match for no reason.
All right, let me make that clear. just put a stipulation on it. If Bryan wins, he gets into the title match. It looks weird, but it'd be a lot better than having something look a little bit weird than to have people throw trash at two of supposedly your biggest stars on the biggest show of the night. They need to do that. Regarding what he said, are you happy? Are you happy now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Regarding what he said, I totally agree, man. Daniel Bryan is either on his stomach or his back. The last time I remember him actually getting some sort of victory was when I think I got Grand Theft Auto 5 that night. I went to the launch. And that was around September, am I correct? That was around September, so This has been way too long, man. I understand that you got to make it seem like the heroes are in danger. I've been a critic with that regarding John Cena's character, but this is outrageous, man. It's like they always put a little bit of dirt on Daniel Bryan just to remind you, this is not our guy. We don't stop liking him. And it's really annoying. I mean, just once can I see this guy make me feel like he's something special. It does not help when you tell us that he is a B-plus player and tell the crowd that he sucks. And they wonder why what's his name, the pay-per-view buy rate did so bad. You can't keep telling people that a guy sucks and then prove it. Not good writing.
Yeah, I enjoyed the feud, and I enjoyed the ending, but I'll start with the promo. Sorry, not the feud. I enjoyed the promo. Let me start with the promo, though. I really enjoyed this one. It was back and forth on the mic for a little bit, and I did enjoy, like, this going on what David was saying and Manny was saying. I feel like just in this situation, for this week, we need Triple H to bring this stuff up. We need him to mention he's a B-plus player. We need all this at the moment because Daniel Bryan sort of has to get over that now because they're bringing it back up. So that was good. I like that security took him out, and then he comes back at the end of the show, which I'll get to now. Like Daniel Bryan, he got a lot of offense in at the end, but then Triple H sort of with the whole pedigree thing, I think they really needed that, and also the Batista bomb. I think Batista powerbomb Daniel Bryan, didn't he?
Correct.
All right, cool. I just couldn't remember because I'm thinking about last week, not just this week.
Daniel Bryan actually still ended up kicking Triple H in the face.
Yeah. So I'm getting that. So Stacey did the powerbomb, all that stuff. I think he also beat up Randy Orton as well. So he got offense in against the two, the champion and the contender. So that's good. And then Triple H comes in, and then he's like getting hell angry, and then Daniel Bryan kicks him in the head, and he's getting pissed. So it just really worked for me. Yeah, at the end of the day, end of the night, Daniel Bryan was on his back. But for this situation, I personally preferred this because that's setting this up. So next week, Daniel Bryan will be pissed and he'll actually demand that match. And now we're getting to that point where the match is going to be booked. So we can't just have Daniel Bryan win in this situation on this night because it didn't really make sense to me. We needed Triple H to get the advantage and get pissed off. And that's what we got. So next week, we'll start setting up this feud properly.
Just like they did with Heyman and Lesnar, WWE handled this situation amazingly well, and I'm referring to the promo here. I loved every single thing about this segment. There was something so real and raw about this that made it all the more amazing, and the crowd did play a part in that because they gave Daniel Bryan great reactions, and they did the same to Triple H and Stephanie, but in a completely different way. They got nuclear heat, and while the crowd thought they were taking over the show, they played right into it and contributed to a moment where evil heels were getting the heat that they deserved. Now, it's a shame that the crowd reactions like this have to be tied to backstage BS, but regardless, I'm glad it happened. With your incessant need to be obnoxious assholes, and, even though your intentions weren't pure, thanks, Chicago. Now that we have that out of the way, that's enough about the crowd. Back to the segment itself. While Daniel Bryan kicking Bray Wyatt's ass in the steel cage was his most triumphant moment, I'll go as far as to say that in this segment, it was the best Daniel Bryan's character has ever looked. So with that being said, I vehemently disagree with Manny and David's assessment of the situation, but we shall get there. But before we do, I have a few more things to say. He was determined, defiant, and strong with absolutely no let-up whatsoever. And the great thing about that is that Triple H didn't have to tone himself down or slow down for Bryan to catch up because he too was at the best of his current incarnation of his character. He was vicious in a way that he literally said he owned Daniel Bryan and every fan in the arena, and it was pretty funny and clever how he was cutting an in-character promo on Bryan while at the same time there were real shots fired in Cookie Puss's direction. So all in all, this segment was the collision of people at the very top of their game, and that's a great compliment to Daniel Bryan, because Triple H has gained this reputation, especially on PWTR, of being a little too tough in his promos, being too much of a heel, if you can believe that. So the fact that not only did Daniel Bryan avoid being buried alive, but he came out on the other side with not a speck of dirt on him at all, actually looking stronger than ever, it's an amazing testament to his evolution into a top star and why this match with Triple H is necessary.
In what way did he look stronger?
Did you not see the face-off between him and Triple H, the fact that he didn't back down?
Yeah, and then the end result, the end narrative was that Triple H still holds all the power by kicking him out of the arena. At one point,
he's a fucking figure. He's an authority figure. The COO of the company, and he's married to the damn owner.
I mean, Vince McMahon owns the company. He still had points where he got screwed over by Austin.
But Vince McMahon was never an active wrestler. Vince McMahon and Triple H are two completely different people.
One thing I like to see, Triple H is not the owner of the company. It's Vince McMahon. I would have liked to see Vince McMahon make his return around the Royal Rumble. It's about time we start getting this guy on the TV. It's like only like 4 or 5 more weeks. I mean, Triple H is constantly, you would think that with this storyline, with them running over the entire roster, having the roster come up, they haven't done it in a while, but they used to have the roster be humiliated, have them stand up on the stage. You'd think that Vince would have something to say about it, but he's like, no, it's, even though I own the company and all this chaos is going on, go ahead. Batista, they were supposedly running with some kind of storyline where Batista was injuring people on the roster, being a dangerous person on the roster, and no mention of it whatsoever.
How do you know Vince has a problem with it?
We don't know because we haven't seen him.
Yeah, but maybe he doesn't need to be on TV. Maybe he doesn't need to be part of this storyline.
Because you think right. Why do we need him though? We have authority figures right here. Hell, we have fucking enough of them. We have Vicky Guerrero. We have Kane. We have Brad Maddox, Triple H, Stephanie. We have what? That's like 5 authority figures I just named there.
But Vince McMahon, forget about Brad Maddox. Vince McMahon is the CEO of the company, and all this trash is going on in the company.
So isn't that what Triple H you're saying that as if he has a problem with it. If he doesn't, why would it be necessary for him to come on screen and say, "Okay, I'm completely fine with this. Bye. I'm back to my office."
See, and here's the thing, too. It has been made completely clear that Stephanie and Triple H are running the show, whether that is kayfabe or not, is a different story. But it has been made clear to us that they are in complete 100% power. So how does Vince McMahon coming out and undercutting that help the story?
They don't, because they have a board of directors they have to answer to.
But that's not the kayfabe story.
Yeah, they've
been stating that they are the head of the company. Like, Vince McMahon hasn't been mentioned really at all, so why bring him in? That sort of just complicates things. They're good where they are.
They can't even do certain things they want to do. They haven't mentioned it in a while, but they always have to answer to a board of directors.
See, and here's my thing, too, to say that Triple H got the better of him by having security. He got in his face and said, "Make me get out of the ring." So they call out Kane. He kicks the shit out of Kane, and then Triple H, instead of getting involved, takes the easy route of having security get rid of him. In the main event, he kicks the crap out of 5 people for about 2.5 minutes before the numbers game catches up to him, and now all of a sudden he's getting his ass kicked every week.
Yeah, if anything, Daniel Bryan looks strong here because Triple H couldn't confront you. It could be twisted to a situation where Triple H didn't confront him as a man. He had to bring out security to get him out of the ring. Daniel Bryan told him to his face, "You make me get out of the ring." And Triple H didn't lift a damn finger. He had security get him out. And like Charlie said, the numbers game caught up to him at the end of the day because whether we like it or not, they do have all of the power. They do. That's the situation. They're the damn owners of the company.
I mean, he almost beat up 5 people. And it just, at the end of the day, he was defiant in the end. Michael Cole actually sold that really well. Wow, that was weird to say. Anyway, but the whole defiant to the end thing, I'm tired of your fantasy crap. He kicks him in the face, and Batista comes up, and Bryan has just gone through all this stuff, and he's laid everybody out, and then the numbers game kind of comes back and eventually gets the better of him. That's how we end the show. I don't think that's necessarily Daniel Bryan. I don't know how a scenario where Daniel Bryan beats up 5 people helps the feud either. I think, honestly, that helped the feud more. Triple H finally losing it and saying, "You know what, screw it," and sending a message kind of led into the feud. And if they make the match next week, I think that's what set it up. And I also think that having him mix it up with the guys in the WWE title picture set up the double duty deal perfectly.
Well, that's all well and good, but I mean, just look at the lay of the land. It's Daniel Bryan against everyone. Like in this past 6 months, at what point has Daniel Bryan ever, like, not even just beaten up Triple H or anything like that? At what point has he outsmarted him? At what point has he done something to get under Triple H's skin? Nothing like that has happened in the past 6 months. It's always been the Authority constantly getting the better of Daniel Bryan. It's been one-sided this whole 6 months.
When Triple H accepts that match at WrestleMania with Daniel Bryan, then you ask that question and see if I have an answer. Because we clearly see on TV, Daniel Bryan is pressuring the hell out of Triple H. He's saying, I want this match. You're going to give me this damn match. I want to kick your ass at WrestleMania. For months, Triple H has been saying, you're a B-plus player. You're not on my level. We're not in the same stratosphere when it comes to our star power. But isn't that kind of remedied when he accepts the match? Because we know he's gonna. And of course, there's going to be some kind of catalyst caused by Daniel Bryan to make Triple H accept that match.
I guess.
He has to win that match, though.
I think that means we won that one.
No, I still disagree. But you asked me to wait until he accepts the match and ask you, and we'll pick this up then.
Okay. So Daniel Bryan is on screen saying that he wants to have a match with Triple H at WrestleMania. Triple H is saying hell no. So we'll see if Daniel Bryan outsmarts him and he gets what he wants.
Y'all some house, you know what's.
Why? Because we don't endlessly bitch about everything, little thing we can find to bitch about.
I think that was a very valid complaint.
But not this week. Yeah, but not this week. It wasn't, because they needed this for the storyline. So that, yeah.
I just get bent over the table.